Hello, hello. It's Michelle Calloway, your host for Tech with Heart. I'm the CEO and founder of Revealio, and I am delighted to be able to talk to you today about how you can grow your business by building online communities, be involved in online communities, and even starting to step out into the limelight as a thought leader or an influencer. Our very special guest that we have today is the CEO of Alignable. Many of you have probably heard about it. It is a free platform that you can also obviously pay for more advanced features, but Alignable was built by heart-centered business successful experts that want to help you, the small business owner, get more connected and be able to get more referrals and just build that beautiful relationship with other business members and grow together. So welcome to the Tech with Heart stage, Eric Groves.
Thanks so much for having me. It's wonderful to be here today.
Wow, I am delighted that you said yes, because I've been told by many experts that if you want to get really awesome people on your show, you just have to ask. And you were so gracious to say, yes, I will do that. And thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right, so Eric, you are the CEO and co-founder of Alignable. And it says here that your mission is to build a global network marketplace where every small business owner is able to connect, build trusted relationships, and gain access to trusted referrals that are critical for small business success.
Absolutely, that's spot on.
Well, yeah, that's your mission statement. So share with us.
That is us in a nutshell.
Yes, share with us a little bit about how important is it for businesses to be involved in community?
Well, I think it all kind of starts at the core of business success. Right? We as business owners, and I'll throw myself into that bucket since as a co-founder, I started with one other person. And we realize that it's very tough to make great decisions all by yourself. And what we really value most is the opportunity to be able to work with other people who have either solved those challenges or are solving similar challenges and learn from each other. And it turns out that small business owners all come to their business with a passion and some level of expertise in a field, but they don't typically know about everything that they need to know to run their business. And the great news is that in many cases, the answers to the challenges that they're facing could be 10 feet away through drywall. Could be another business owner simply in the next business next door to you. And the challenge historically has been, how do you meet those people? How do you build relationships with them? And how do you share information that leads to great referrals, whether they're customer referrals or product or services or what accountant should I use? You want to create a place where that can happen. And prior to Alignable, there was no real place online where business owners could do that. And so that's what we started some 7-8 years ago, just outside of Boston, and has now grown into the largest online network with almost 6 million businesses connecting and collaborating with each other. And it's every type of business owner you can imagine on Main Street, whatever town you're in. It's the retail store, the spa, salon, web designers, marketing agencies, lawyers, doctors. The whole ecosystem is present, which means you have access to just phenomenal opportunities to learn from each other.
I have a lot of people come to me because I am a bit more tech savvy than the average, I guess, middle-aged female. I don't know. That's why I lead Tech with Heart Network. I really do want to help business owners kind of embrace technology. And you've created a platform using technology, and you are giving it a lot of it away for free. You just want to see people be successful. I have definitely seen the value being able to gain knowledge base, glean a little bit from other experts. And that is the one thing that I really pull away from building community beyond the relationships. I mean, when I stepped into becoming an entrepreneur business owner, I left the world of just 9 to 5 job mindset. I mean, the reality is if you're an entrepreneur, you think differently. You just have to behave differently. A lot of us, some people are saying it's like, congratulations, you've just stepped into the hardest job that there is in the world is to be an entrepreneur. So in one aspect, yeah, it's exciting, but it's also incredibly crippling with, you can be crippled with fear if you don't know what you're doing. And so that's where community definitely can help you feel more safe, more cared for, supported, and grow, right?
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to that old adage of there's no stupid questions out there, right? I mean, if you're facing a challenge as a business owner, um, other people have had the same challenge. I doubt you've come up with one that's completely new that no one's ever seen before. And, as business owners, we tend to work with other business owners, small business owners. And so we not only can tap into expertise, but experience. And the key is that I need to have a network of people that I can turn to. And so when you join Alignable, basically you're joining a community, and it predominantly starts off based on geography, right? Because the most powerful referrals that you can get are word of mouth customer referrals. And for most small business owners, that comes from a close geographic area. Now, there are businesses that are national and the like, and they're on the platform too. But when you join Alignable, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put you front and center in front of the business owners that are closest to you. And we're going to say, you've got to know some of these people. They're business owners too. You may not know it. It may be the parent of one of your kids' best friends. You never know, but they're there and you're surrounded by them. And so the most important thing is to start to connect with people and to start talking with them and saying, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were a business owner too. What do you do? How does it work? And, it's that interaction and the relationship of going back and forth and sharing what you're into and what you're all about that causes trust to form. And trust is like the glue that binds small business together, right? I mean, everything we do, we want a trusted referral. When we think about word of mouth referrals from a business owner, it's words and mouths, right? Mouths are people with whom you've built trust because they're putting their reputation on the line for you and your business to share your business or something about you with one of their friends. And so it all starts with that trusted relationship. And we want to help you bring those relationships together on the platform, interact with each other, and then kind of grow from there. And then all you have to do is once you have a network, then you start sharing words that are interesting, things about your business, things about your expertise with your network. And then it naturally flows out through the community and it goes beyond that. So it's a very simple machine. But you got to do a couple of things right to get it going. But then once it goes, it's got a beautiful long tail.
So that really leads into the very next question that I had for you, which is, what can business owners do to be able to excel at this engagement marketing, or we call it relationship marketing, where, because there are some techniques that will help you be far more successful when it comes to being involved in a community or even building your own community. Can you speak to us about what those things are?
Yeah,
Besides
absolutely.
the trust, you mentioned trust, so that's great.
Yeah, well, I mean, and let's face it, we want to make it easy on ourselves and easy on others, right? And so when you think of word of mouth referrals and making it easy on yourself, the best thing that you can do is really build out a very strong and diverse network. So really spending some time finding all the people that you already know, informing them about the types of people that you'd like to add to your network, and really working on that sort of echo chamber, if you will. And the bigger you make that network full of people that you've got a relationship with, the easier you're going to make it on yourself. Now we switch over to making it easier on others, right? And the answer to that is simply by sharing your expertise, right? Getting out there and helping other people solve problems. Because what happens, you can put out the promotions and the events that you're doing on the platform, and it's great. And that's all what we call about you content. That'll get shared with your network, helps you stay top of mind, gives them something simple that they can share with others. Great stuff. But the thing that really catches people's attention is when you share your knowledge or your expertise. So we had an insurance agent out in Kansas who went onto the platform and started a local conversation and said, hey, I just wanted to let you know, if you're having your employees drive their personal vehicles to deliver your products and services to a customer, here are 3 things that you should make sure in your insurance policy. Didn't try and sell anything, didn't try and like get people to buy from them, just tried to help. And the result of that was incredible. All these people in the community are like, oh my gosh, that's interesting. I never thought about that. What about this? How would you deal with this situation? How would you deal with that situation? And now all of a sudden that person has gone from just being an insurance agent to being an insurance resource within the community who's getting passed around from business owner to business owner just because they didn't try and sell anything. They just showed that they cared and they had some expertise of value. And that's really how you make it easy on other people, is to just get out there and share your expertise like you do all the time.
So perfect, because that's part of the engagement that we talk about. So, it's not enough to just build a profile, walk away and expect people are going to come, banging on your virtual door. It's about engaging communities. And so you talked about the about you content. So it's okay to share promotional content and let people know what you provide service wise, or just
absolutely. That's helping them too, right? Because you're going to say, this is the type of businesses that I am. Here are the type of customers that I work with. Here are the type of people that I get referrals from and I like to refer other people to. And you're just setting the table and saying, hey, I love to generate referrals for myself and for others. And this is what really works. And if you're part of that community, hey, jump in. I'd love to meet you. Right. And so you're opening the door to a lot of great opportunity.
Yeah, I always like to refer to the just be a good human being kind of a concept, because it's being in business is a lot like dating. You want to get to know people. Like Eric, you and I met, we seem to have connected on this level, but I shouldn't just be like blasting you automatically with everything that I feel like you should utilize me for service wise. We need to build a relationship a little bit and ease into it, right? I mean, you want to go on a couple of dates. So
exactly.
Keep that in mind, for those of you who are listening or watching, that it is really about you showing up as a quality human being, because people will ultimately make their buying decision to do business with you versus your competitors because they feel good about you. They feel that they can trust you. It's a feeling. It almost always comes down to that emotional connection of a feeling. It's like that gut feeling. You never walked away, you're like, oh man, I just had to get away from that person. I don't even know why. I can't even put it into words, but I won't ever feel comfortable doing business with that person. So these are the things you should be thinking about. Here's sharing content that's valuable, insights, a little bit into the expertise, sharing a little bit about who you are and what you do offer so that they do know, because they're going to want to remember that, because, they may need you later. They may have somebody that they can refer to you later. And then just always provide value. I mean, I always believe if you're providing positive and valuable content on a regular basis, then that is the name that you're going to make for yourself, and you're going to stand out above the crowd.
Absolutely. And, it's kind of funny is that my co-founder was talking to, before we started Alignable, he was talking to a bunch of local business owners in our hometown, Acton, Massachusetts. And one of the business owners said to him, hey, Venkat, that's a really cool technology that you've got there. But I was just wondering, I know you're talking to the guy across the street that owns the liquor store. And I was wondering if you could just introduce me to him. And, Venkat is like, his head kind of twisted. And, he's one of these guys that's used technology to solve problems forever. And he's like, why won't you just walk across the street? And my hypothesis, and I'd love to get people's feedback on this, is that so often small business owners are sold to. And, we witnessed it when we were trying to start Alignable, and we were out talking to business owners, and we would walk into a random business owner and they could like look at us and just tell if we were there to try and sell them something. And it was like, stop. No, I don't need it, don't want it, right? And the reason for that is that small business owners, 7 to 10 times a week, get someone trying to sell them something, either over the phone or in person in the old days. And it gets to them after a while, and they put up a natural defense mechanism. And the interesting thing is, it all starts off with someone walking in the door and saying, is the business owner available? So why is it, do you think, that business owner won't walk across the street and introduce himself to somebody else? Because he doesn't know that person yet. And he feels terrible walking into that person's business and saying, hey, is the business owner available? Because literally he's getting bombarded every week with the same question. And it creates this friction, which really stinks, because when those two people connected on Alignable, the guy that owned the restaurant said, hey, I've always wanted to meet you. I've shopped in your wine store before. I just don't know who you are. Would it be okay if I stop by? And he's like, oh yeah, come by anytime. I'm here all the time. And it was just, he needed something to break the ice. And, one of the beautiful things about Alignable is you can use it if you've got a great profile and you spend the time telling people what you're all about, and you've gotten a bunch of people to recommend you. If somebody goes to your profile, they're going to drop their guard. Now, if your profile is completely empty, people are going to be like suspicious. But if it's really a great profile, people are going to drop their guard and say, oh man, I might actually learn something from this person. This would be great. We should chat. Right? And that's the kind of environment that we're trying to create on the platform, where it's welcoming of someone you don't know coming over and tapping you on the shoulder and saying, hey, I love what you do. Could we just chat? And 9 times out of 10, that person's going to say, absolutely.
Absolutely. Good hypothesis. I agree with you 100%. I know personally that if I'm at a grocery store or any kind of a store, and I know there's a couple of representatives at this one area that are always going to try and stop you when you're doing your shopping to get you to talk to them about your cable or whatever. And I'm just like, I will avoid them. I will go all the way around different sections just so I only have to go near them, because right. I just don't like the vibe of being interrupted. I'm there for a different reason. I'm not their target market, so just, don't bother me kind of a thing. But you're right. Creating a great profile, continually adding value, whether anybody's listening or not, when somebody does land there, they're going to feel very warm, and their guard's going to go down. And it's good to ask questions or do a little bit of research on somebody before you reach out as a cold person that you don't have a relationship yet, showing them that you've invested 5 minutes or 1 minute even into who they are, so that it doesn't feel so artificial. Now, right. Tech with Heart is all about enhancing human connection through technology, and artificial intelligence does a phenomenal job in connecting people because of keywords, keyword phrases, and whatnot, and it learns about your behaviors, and it connects you with other people with similar behaviors. However, there still needs to be a very human component, and that is that first initial touch has to feel human, because if it feels robotic, it's incredibly off-putting to a lot of us who are just authentically trying to connect with people,
Absolutely.
So keep that in mind, you guys, if you're listening or watching, because it's important to use technology to grow your business. Eric and his team have built an incredible platform that's at the entry level is all free for you. I mean, it's pretty robust, but you need to make sure you're utilizing it right, like we're talking about. What mistakes are you seeing business owners doing again and again and again that's keeping them from growing in community or growing in business? You've been around for a little while, so what do you see?
Sure. Well, we see it on the platform, and then I've seen things out in the real world. But on the platform, just like you said, it's a lot about show me you know me, and that you're willing to invest in yourself before you ask me to invest in you. And so, one of the beautiful things about the platform is, like I said, you can go in there and you can introduce yourself to people you don't know. Well, people, scratch their head and it's like, well, I tried to introduce myself to like 10 people and nobody responded to me. And you go, oh, geez, I wonder what's wrong. And then you go and look at their profile and it's completely empty. They haven't, they're like, I'm an insurance agent. Okay, well, what do you do? Why do you do it? Where's your passion? Bring yourself to life. They don't put a picture of themselves on their profile. we all want to work with other people, right? We want to see them and connect eyes. And if you don't want to put your picture up there, what are you hiding? And I get certain reasons. Some people won't want to put a picture of themselves up there. Put a picture of your dog or something that you are passionate about, but don't just leave it empty, right? And tell people why you started your business. There's this great kitchen store in Acton called Kitchen Outfitters, run by this woman, Willa Breeze. And, she went to culinary school and built a business that really is about passionate chefs, people that love to cook. If you're passionate about culinary, I've got friends in Boston that drive all the way out there, but she just loves to talk to people about cooking. And when we created her profile, and she was like the first or second person on Alignable way back in the dark ages, we spent a lot of time really crafting her story about the fact that she had gone to culinary school and that she did have this passion for helping people learn how to cook, and that she did these programs with kids and all that kind of stuff. And when I see that, I'm like, wow, as a business owner, I really can learn from this person. I'd enjoy having them as a friend. Yeah, I would love to connect with them. Versus you land on someone's profile and it's completely empty, and you're saying, well, why am I investing my time answering this person's connection request if they haven't even put the time into their own profile? And we get that, and we talk to business owners a lot. It's like, well, you got all these connection requests. Why did you accept these and not those? And it really comes down to just, I only invest in people that invest in themselves. And, I think that's one of the key things that people can do to really start the process of getting to know other people, is to kind of invest a little bit of your own time into yourself. And then, like you said, the whole show me, you know me, before you reach out to me, go look at my profile and see how many people we know in common, because it's right there on the right-hand side. Click on it, see who they are, say, oh my gosh, we both know Susie Snowflake. What a coincidence. How do you know her? Right. And it's all about affinity. So, whether it's they recommend the nonprofit that you work with, or recommend your accountant that they've been working with too, you'll find something in common that you can use to open up the conversation.
So conversation is a great segue from there, because it's really about conversations. It's not about pushy, salesy. If you do happen to make a connection with this person and you set up a time to meet, show up.
Yeah.
And if you're not able to, for some reason, show up, they'll probably give you grace and let you try again. But if you don't show up the second time, you're burning a bridge before you even got, built. So those are kinds of things that, be conversational, show up when you say you're going to show up, be in an honorable, show yourself to have integrity from the get-go, because people want to do business with people who have integrity so they can trust them. So those are some things that I've learned too along the way. Let's talk.
There's that notion of just buying versus selling. Some people get mad at me when I say, people don't like to be sold to, but people like to buy, right? And it's a very fine line difference. And I remember when I was at Constant Contact years ago, we used to run these educational seminars and just basically teaching small business owners how to do marketing. And inevitably, at the end of going and running one of these sessions, someone would come up to me afterwards and say, but you didn't tell me how to buy Constant Contact. I'm like, really? So what are you going to do first? It's like, well, I need to build a list. Okay, so once you build a list of all of your customers, what are you going to do? Well, then I'd have to get it into Constant Contact sometime. Well, how would you do that? Oh, I just go into Google and type Constant Contact. I'm like, what do I need to sell you? You already figured it out. You're a smart person. And the only reason you're going to go down that path is because I taught you about how to market. And that's the difference between buying and selling. And we all would prefer to buy than be sold to.
Beautiful. Thank you, Eric. That was wonderful. So I know you guys are launching something fairly new on Alignable. What we're hearing from business owners right now is that because everybody now is expected to figure out how to survive online, thrive, not survive. We want them to thrive. And people are needing more expertise, more experts to kind of lead them and guide them. And masterminds are starting to be a big, huge thing, online masterminds. And I know Tony Robbins, those guys just recently launched a really big mastermind platform, but I know Alignable wants to stay in the game on that space too. You guys are opening up groups on Alignable, similar to like what Facebook has done. LinkedIn has groups as well. So this is an opportunity for business owners who are an expert in their space to really stand out and to potentially lead an online community through alignable groups. Can you talk to us a little bit about what you're looking for on that realm?
Absolutely. So up until this point in time, people have been able to really create groups out of their network, right? You can go in, you can pick, if you've got 50 people in your network, you could go take 5 of them, carve them off, and create a little sub chat group that you guys could, chat with each other. But what we found was that business owners really want to find other ways to interact with their peers. And it typically falls into a couple of different buckets. One is based on proximity. So I want to find a bunch of other retail business owners that are in my community so that we can all work together. Or it could be by industry. So we have a group of businesses that are florists. So roughly 100 of them from across the country. And they kind of called it their own survival group. They asked us, they're like, can you help us create a group of just a bunch of florists that we can talk to each other about how to get through this COVID crisis? And we're like, sure, let's form this group and ask florists if they want to join. And so that kind of took off, and and now that group is super active. And so we're like sitting here thinking, wow, there's this need to allow people to come together in small groups to solve problems. And whether it's a mastermind group or an industry group, we're open to helping people form these groups from our base of 6 million businesses. The key is finding people to lead them. And to really define what that purpose is of that group. And, some groups are all about selling. Some people don't want to be in a group where there's selling going on. They just want to be able to talk about challenges that they're facing and get input from other people, sort of more of a peer mastermind type of structure. We want to basically enable any of those groups to exist, but we want people to feel comfortable joining the ones that they want to be a part of. So we're launching this groups program right now. One of our members, Sue Brook, who was sort of super passionate about this, is leading the effort. She's actually come on board to actually find these leaders and help them build out these groups so that we can launch it across North America. So it's super exciting. And rumor has it that she may have targeted you for one of these groups or something like that.
Yes, I just recently started a Tech with Heart group. And also on the Revealio side, I feel like I bring a lot of expertise to the marketing and media and advertising space. So I'm actually going to be leading 2 groups on your platform, and I'm very delighted because, my heart is all about empowering businesses to be successful in a digital era. So it's my calling. I'm very delighted that you guys are stepping into this, providing a platform similar to some of the others that, because there's an opportunity right now. There's a really, really big opportunity to show your expertise to others in a way that's seriously helpful. This is a critical time. Small businesses of America are hurting tremendously. It's the whole reason I started Tech with Heart back in the day, is I heard from 90% of business owners were saying technology was their biggest pain point. Well, now we are all online, so they have to embrace technology. So you've already provided a beautiful, very easy platform for them to get started on. Now, those of us who are in more of an expertise kind of level, we can easily step up without taking a lot of extra time, because I'm already leading groups on Facebook. So I'm just going to, do the same on Alignable. It's just one more beautiful place for people to feel secure and warm and cared for and supported and loved on and nurtured and educated. And, we can offer trainings. There's a lot you can do in a group. So thank you for providing this platform for us. Normally we ask our guests what their free offer is, but you've already built Alignable, which is, again, you guys, it's free. That's the word align, ALIGN, able, ABLE, alignable.com. Just go there, create your free account and build your profile. Put your face out there, get your little beautiful face on there so people can connect with you, the person, and then, build out your, the about section and tell your story if you can. Be a real, authentic human being. People are really searching for, you right now. So this is a great place for you to get started. And the SEO. The SEO is great, right, Eric?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, the more you add to that profile, the more we can help you from an SEO standpoint. But, you know, and then it really comes down to building out your network. So connect with, you know, find all of the people that you know. We have a tool in there that allows you to kind of look at your address book and match it against all of our members and invite other people who we think may be a business owner. And you can use that and selectively pick the people that you want to invite or connect with. But, you know, beyond that, you can just go to the directory and find other folks that you want to have part of your network and just click the connect button. So it's pretty simple to get started. And, you know, we hope every business owner, regardless of where they're located or what stage they're in, can come to Alignable and find some peers that they can work with. Because, you know, let's face it, running a business is tough enough. Running a business through what we're going through now with COVID is even more challenging. And, you know, pardon the phrase, but it sucks to do it all by yourself. Why not do it with a bunch of peers that can help you and you can help too?
So is that what you would like to leave? I mean, can you give me a quote, like an Eric quote that I could quote you? What is the one thing that you want business owners to think of and remember when they walk away from this interview?
Well, two things. One is sort of about themselves and the business, and we love to say that in everything we do, we believe small business owners are stronger together. So, you know, and everything that you'll see in the platform, it's all about that. And then the last thing I would love people to realize is, you know, our local economies are struggling. We went through a massive shift in purchasing due to COVID, which shifted purchasing from local communities to major online brands. And we did it for survival purposes and for health purposes, and I totally get that. But the effect of doing that is that it shifted a ton of money out of the local economy and off to places like Seattle and Arkansas and Walmart and Amazon and those folks. And as we look to rebuild our communities and our local economies, what we need to understand is that for every $100 we spend at a local business, $50 to $60 stays and spins around the community at least one more time. And if it stays with other businesses within the community, another 50 to 60% of it spins around the community. And that's what causes our local economies to recover, because it employs people, it employs products, and it gets products and services bought that are local, et cetera. That same $100 spent at a major online store is all leaving town tomorrow. As soon as you click the button, it's gone. And it does nothing to help our local economies recover. So my plea to everyone is to really just do the math, think about where you're spending your money, and try to shift back that spending that you used to do locally to local businesses. And if you can find a little bit more, even better, because that's the only way we're going to sustain a recovery.
Thank you, Eric. You've been wonderful. If you are interested in becoming a leader on a community on Alignable, you're also welcome to just DM me, and I will put you in touch with the lady in charge. And then I will also, if you are interested as a business owner in getting yourself interviewed as an expert in your industry on the Tech with Heart show on Facebook or on the Tech with Heart TV show on Roku or Amazon Fire, please also reach out to us or join our network at techwithheartnetwork.com. We're all about empowering business success in a digital era, and we really, really work with you to help make sure you're using that technology to enhance your human relationships. So thank you so much for joining us today, Eric. It is a pleasure. Thank you so much for being our guest.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, you guys take care. Bye-bye.